CNN has indefinitely suspended anchor Chris Cuomo after documents released by the New York Attorney General's office detailed how he used his connections to try to help his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, respond to claims of sexual harassment.
Well, as you may have heard in the past couple of days, the bloke who runs Twitter, a bloke called Jack Dorsey, who I think we have a charming photo of, has stepped down as the Twitter CEO, and the price of the company went up. What a wonderful reflection on his leadership, despite the fact that apparently free speech doesn't matter anymore. That's what the new boss of Twitter is telling people up front, and no one seems to have a problem with it.
I think that releasing 50 million barrels of oil from our Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which is our national emergency oil savings account, won't make any difference on the price of gas. As you pointed out, America consumes about 20 million barrels of oil a day. So that's 2.5 days. That's why shortly after the president's announcement, oil futures actually went up, not down. So we're going backwards here. Number two, I think that one of the differences between people and dogs is that dogs would never allow the weakest or the dumbest to lead the pack. President Biden's energy policy is both weak and dumb. He and his woker friends have ended America's hard-fought energy independence, and here's their new policy. Let's force America to buy oil from foreign countries that hate us, so those foreign countries will have money to buy weapons to try to kill us. It is the reason the reason gas prices are going up is because the oil's in Louisiana and Texas, and the dipsticks are in Washington, D.C.
January or so, but what we are talking about is the continuing resolution passed in September that expires on Friday night. And the question before all members of Congress, but particularly Republicans who run every year on limited government and on freedom, are they going to stand up and say that not one single dollar should be used to fund government that is telling people that they must get a vaccine, a mandatory vaccine, or they're going to lose their job? Somebody talked to the veteran in my district. His father called me in tears because after 13 years of service, he might lose his job. He's facing getting fired. Or the woman who's 9 months pregnant, who's going to be fired from the hospital she's a nurse in. Talk about the woman that I know, one of my best friends, who's teaching a class at Auburn University in Alabama, and she's facing getting fired because she doesn't want to take the jab. You know why? Because she's facing multiple sclerosis. The president doesn't have the power to do this. And where is Congress? Congress needs to man up, stand up, and fight for the American people. And that means don't fund a government that is tyrannically forcing people to get a vaccine that they don't want to get. The courts are doing the work for us right now. 3 times courts have shut down these unconstitutional, unlawful mandates. But Congress needs to step up now and get in the game.
Well, here's the thing.
So a dear friend of mine called me today to say she'd heard that it was going very badly in South Africa, and how are you? How are you handling it? So I'll tell you exactly what's happening in South Africa. Nothing. Today's figures, total new infections in South Africa, 0. Total new infections in England, 46,000. 46,000 new infections. We have 0 new infections. Our populations are approximately the same. Oh, but let's blame Africa. The British have discovered a new variant in South Africa. Of course, it's the worst of all variants. It's dressed in a loincloth, carries a spear, and waits for you at the airport to chop your head off and crawl up your ass. So, yes, let's put South Africa back on the red list because they have 0 new infections and we have 46,000 new infections today. So South Africa will have no tourist season. Companies and livelihoods will be decimated yet again. I've already had guests cancelling their Christmas and their journeys. I had guests leave today early from Spain because they're now afraid they won't be able to get back on a plane because the British have discovered a new variant in Africa. And of course, it's the worst variant ever. Meanwhile, we're all sat here having no new infections and getting on quite nicely, thank you very much. So what's happening in South Africa? I'll tell you. I'm going to the pub where I'm going to drink a beer, which will cost me the equivalent of £1.
You can't make this stuff up, you guys. Go look up The Nomad Soul. It's a video game from 1999. The video game was also known as Omicron. Guess who invented this game? Microsoft, owned by Bill Gates. And the video game was about soul-snatching demons.
We'll solve this murder.
Y'all understand the distraction yet? See, over the last 3 weeks, you've watched every single minute of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial be televised. You've seen lawyers comment on it and give you a play-by-play of exactly what's happening. But you know what you're not seeing a live stream of? The trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, the partner of Jeffrey Epstein who helped powerful men around the world sexually abuse little girls. In fact, the only thing we've seen about that trial is a fucking sketch. So they have no problem live streaming the trial of a kid who was obviously acting in self-defense. All to help fuel a bullshit racial narrative that divides America. But all of us can be united in our hatred of Ghislaine Maxwell. That's why they won't live stream it. Because we all want to see these powerful men held to account for what they did. And the government and the media will never show us anything that could bring us together.
Hey! Shut the fuck up, man! Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon!
I still haven't figured out, was that young, attractive, female reporter, was she trying to cover up or was she being nice? Did she not understand what was happening? She works for NBC, so it's about 94% sure that she knew exactly what she was doing. Well, Brandon's become a big star. Nobody ever heard of this guy. Now he's one of the biggest stars. Nobody ever heard of him. Brandon's a star. But I still like the first phrase better somehow. It's more accurate.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Now of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Gallop cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
I'll never change. And I really do long for someday you'll see the power of it all. It just drives the force in me. Do you remember me? And now can you see it feels good? Baby, do you remember me? Oh, strange reasons you heard. I keep asking you, do you, do you remember me? Do you, do you remember me? Some facsimile by the way that I handle my pride. 'Cause life is so real to me, and I can't handle it, honey, this is the time. Darling, this is the place. So don't hang around with me. You're just my take up my space. Do you remember me? And now can you see it feels good? Baby, do you remember me? Oh, strange reasons you would. Baby, do you remember me? Oh, do you, honey, do you remember me? Darling, do you remember me? Was it good for you and me? Baby, do you remember me?
Hello, Freedom Warriors. Welcome, everyone. I'm Stiletto. This is Street Talk, and I'm glad you're here. You know, I got to start off like this because I got to get it off my chest. Facebook, we're breaking up. I'm breaking up with you finally. It's like a bad relationship over year after year after year. I'm done with you. That's it. We'll stream and we'll try to share for people until they get over to Rumble, until they get over to LinkedIn, and over to YouTube. I mean, I'm banned on everything. So we might as well rumble. Let's go, Freedom Warriors, because I've had enough with your addiction, with the same feet, rolling like a dumbbell. We've all been victims of your abuse. Okay? You're like a streetwalker. You know, you just take all people in and then you use them and abuse them. And we're tired of your censorship. We're tired of your abuse. We're tired of it. So I got to say goodbye. Like I said, my pages will be up. I'll be posting, but I'm not going to stream live from here anymore. So deal with it. And please, we're not making up. So don't send me no other bullshit because I don't want to read it. On that note, it's the season. I'm getting ready. You know, I get excited around this time. The only thing is, you know, it's my first Christmas without my dad, who is my everything. You guys all know this. And I know there are many of you that are going through this too. You know, Christmas can be a wonderful, beautiful time of the year. Reason for the season, Jesus, my guy right here, my Mary. But it's also very depressing for a lot of other people. Suicides, you know, people are down. They miss their family. They miss certain people. So let's try to, you know, remember, we're at war. So if we could try to be kind, we should be kind all the time, not just during Christmas. But if we could be kind to each other, you know, you see a veteran having coffee, go up, pay the tab. You know, you see him ordering food, go up, pay the tab. You see someone homeless, go bring them some food. You know, I'm not really into the money thing. You know, I'm more into like, what do you need? Or let me help you out. Let me get you some food. Go in the store and buy a scarf. Like those are the things that make me happy within myself. Because, you know, Christmas, remember, don't say Christmas. Yeah, people get offended. You know, I'm going to start to get offended on everything. Go in a store, you know, people are just like, yesterday I went into a store, okay, and I'm looking at people and they're still masked up in Massachusetts. Listen, this is the time that we need to stop. Stop being afraid to speak up. Stop being afraid to have a voice. Stop being afraid to say no. 2 letters, 1 word, no. Will not comply. You know, they try to take everything away from us that's good. Our family. The kids love Santa Claus. I had one little girl tell another little girl a couple of years ago, there's no Santa Claus because of her religion. I don't care what you want to believe, and you can believe in a stuffed animal. Do your thing, but leave my holiday alone. They try to snuff out Christmas. They try to take down Christopher Columbus. Forget about it. It's not going to happen. Sit with your families. Everybody, my father used to say, check your phones at the door. This is when we had the flip phones. Take the phone off the hook. Supper time. Time to sit at the table. Time to have conversation. I want to know what you did at school. I want to know this. And he used to tell us. And whenever we have conversation at this table, it never leaves this table. Family time. Friend time. Sharing time. People don't know how to do that. All they know is violence, violent music, and every other. Don't let me go off on a tangent because I wanted to talk about be nice to your neighbor. You know, just try to do something for anyone and everyone. Even if it's someone you don't really like and you see they're in distress, go over and help them. What is it going to kill you? No, it won't. And it comes right back to you. So that's my thing about Christmas. And remember, when someone says happy holidays to you, you don't know what I do. I go, no, it's Christmas, but Merry Christmas. And I never went back to a store named Target because they weren't selling gift cards that said Merry Christmas. All happy holidays, happy holidays. No, when we say happy Hanukkah, we say happy 4th of July, happy this, happy that, happy your sister's ass. I want Merry Christmas. That's what I want. And that's what I'll say. And people say, they never had a time when you couldn't say Merry Christmas. Really? They're trying to not let you go to your house, have Christmas. They want to come out with this, what is it, Omicron, moronic, new variant, warning, there's a new variant. No Christmas, no Christmas. Don't go to church. Don't go in the sunlight. Don't stand outside. Get on the circle. Forget about it. You people already freaking failed the communism test by putting on the mask. Take them off. You're going to get more sick. Now they're starting all over again. Oh, my God. Commies over here, commies over there. Why? Because there's commies everywhere. My God, you can't escape them. Speaking of commies, I'm so proud of my friend Hal. Haven't seen him since the radio days, but he runs Camp Constitution. I want to give him a shout out because this is persistence. You see, we stood when they raised the communist flag of China on City Hall property here in Boston, Massachusetts, and me and Diana Ploss stood with the Chinese people that were crying, calling our senator out, who was Joe Boncourt, calling him out saying, they're organ harvesting over here. The people, they know what's going on. And they're hanging the flag, a communist flag next to the American flag, when these people fled and they were crying. You should have seen them. And they were angry too. So Hal Shurtleff tried to put up a Christian flag. Okay. He is now getting his case heard. And this is awesome. So Hal Shurtleff, as of November 22nd, 17 organizations, 17. Isn't that great? 17 organizations have filed briefs in favor of the Christian flag lawsuit against City of Boston, including the U.S. Department of Justice. And I don't have my good readers on, so if I, you know what I mean? You know, I got Mrs. Rogers. I got 5 pairs of glasses. U.S. Department of Justice, the ACLU, a group of 12 state attorney generals, and American Legion. So go, Hal. Get them to raise that Christian flag on City Hall because they raise every other thing. Yeah, like our taxes, and I don't want to get into when you heard the word raise, you know. So great persistence. I'm going to have Chris, my producer, roll before he rolls at the clip 1. But, you know, we have to stay persistent. You just can't stop and say, well, this is what I hear. This is what, like, gets my Italian blood boiling. Well, that's how it is now. That's how it's going to be. No, it is not. Stop your weeping. You know, I like people. And I love all kinds of people because everybody does certain things in their lanes. But stop crying about it and do something. Get off your ass and do something about it. Make phone calls, send emails, bug people, speak your mind. Make these politicians squirm. You know, I'm saying, oh, that's how it is. It's not how it is. We were sleeping, all of us. I was even sleeping. Now we're awake. We're never going back that way. We're staying this way. Because if you fall back asleep, that's when they get you. They start passing legislation. They start Agenda 2030. You got no place to park. You got no place. It's all bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's real. But we have to stop it. So I just want to say this also. You just heard me. I broke up with Facebook today. I took their ring off. Facebook and I are done. Done. I'm not going back for any more abuse. I've taken enough. So we're on Rumble. We're on LinkedIn. Let me go over this. Tuesdays, you can have nice over there with Jocelyn Davis on Just Jocelyn. She's at 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'm rough here on Thursday night. Stiletto, Street Talk. But you can have a nice and rough. Watch both shows. We're going to try to incorporate a new segments, you know, an all-star cast, the Patriot panel for ASIM, which is, are you shitting me? Like, seriously. I can't ramp up right now because I got a nice guest coming on. He's probably horrified sitting backstage saying, what is Stiletto doing? But we're real, we're raw. That's how it is. But before I bring anybody on, let me tell you another story. So again, that's where you can find us. LinkedIn, Patreon, donate to Patreon, and you could do a one-time donation to giveaway.com because now that we have Rumble, we got to pay by the month again and still stream it. So they get us either way. So like I said, we're not in this for money. We're in this to get the message out there. Okay. And if you have real people with real stories, have them get in touch with one of our producers and we'd love to bring them on the show. I love hearing real stories. Now, speaking of a real story, this is a doozy. Okay. I get a call from my girlfriend. You know, she's a blonde, typical blonde. Stiletto. I said, what's the matter? What's the matter? What happened? She said, you gotta talk about this. I'm like, what happened? So you know the company Etsy, right? Etsy. Well, you think you better stop shopping there. They're a little woke. So my friend bought a t-shirt as soon as the Rittenhouse trial was over and he was acquitted, innocent and all that. She bought a shirt that said, let me say again, let me get my other glasses. I'm squinting, you know, my eyes are bleeding. What am I going to do? It's old age. I told you 100 times. Ooh, there's the letters. There they are. So it said acquitted, innocent, Kyle Rittenhouse, justice prevailed. So she's waiting for a t-shirt. Never comes. And she called me a day before. She goes, I just got an email the day before she calls me. And the emails company told her that they had good news and bad news. The good news was that she was now an owner of a collectible, you know, that she would have the only t-shirt that said that because Etsy took their website down, this couple. They took all the orders were canceled. Okay. And you can imagine how many shirts were sold that day. And the couple said they asked why you would take, why would you take down it's a t-shirt. Oh, you're promoting violence. Promoting violence? He was acquitted, innocent by a jury. You show beheadings, crimes, riots, and this gentleman, self-defense on a t-shirt? Wow. So this country better wake up. Wake up. Because here's a guy that's been found innocent of a crime in this country. I don't know. It's backwards, but it's a certain group. It's a certain group that have no balls, like Coca-Cola. And let's do two more before I bring Jocelyn's gonna come on because I want to bring on Albert. I have a great guest. Boycott also, not Etsy, also Etsy, Etsy. Best Buy, I just heard Best Buy and Levi's. They're offering grief counseling. Yep, to help employees cope with the verdict. Where were they want to cope for friggin' OJ? Where were they? Want to cope? Are you kidding me? Well, that's how you shitting me, but I don't want to get into it. So, they don't like legal results of a trial. So remember those three names along with Target. Okay? Etsy, Levi. Look at add Nike to the list. Remember, we have the money. We have the power to shut them down. There are so many ways to take these people out. And keep your eye on the trials because they're trying to everything. The new variant. Look over here. There's a new variant. Let me get my house in front of it. Stop it. Snap out of it. Oh, I think I said enough. Let me bring on my guest. So my first guest is Albert Enriquez, owner and founder of Red Dragon Self-Defense. He's a Second Amendment supporter and defender, NRA certified, private lectures, classes for small groups, office organizations and clubs. Let me see. And did I say NRA classes? Because, oh my God. Firearm, martial arts, self-defense training, discussions on the Second Amendment rights. They also specialize in training of both women and
He isn't here yet.
Yeah?
No.
Now. All right, we'll go back to him. So, but that's who he is. We'll get him up soon. So let's bring on Jocelyn right now. Next time, just text me that. Save me all that stuff. Hey.
I did.
How are you?
How's your new sound? Oh, you have a new sound?
New sound. They sound good.
Sound very good. Very good. Let me see if I can get Enrique. So how are you doing tonight, Jocelyn?
I'm doing great. We got together with the Granite Girls, figuring out what our next step is, what our best use of our time. I don't know if you heard, but in New Hampshire, there was a parent arrested yet again for not wearing a mask. And it was the Department of Homeland Security.
In New Hampshire?
Yep. They are escalating. They want to scare you. They also, let me see if I've got it right here. So it is a redacted email, a joint message from the Criminal Investigative Division and Counterterrorism Division, CID.
So they arrest a parent for not wearing a mask in a meeting. So what is that supposed to prove?
That they're in charge, that the school board and the schools can, this is to prove what the school boards, the teachers, and the SAU can do to your children. It is showing the parents that they're not the boss, that the school knows what's best, and that's why they've got vaccination clinics in the schools. That's why they're teaching CRT, CSE, all of the above, why they can also take them off the property with no notification. For a practice, in case, World War III comes or there's a bad guy, they're training the kids to go off the property.
Yeah, well, they've been doing all that with the school shootings and all that, but these poor kids, honestly, they're traumatized just by the masks alone, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's
what are they supposed to do? never smile, never breathe again, never have an emotion again, breathing that same crap into their lungs. I mean, it's ridiculous. And you know, I'm sorry, but some of the teachers, I'm ashamed of them.
Absolutely.
I'm ashamed of them to not take a stand and said, hey, I can't even breathe, let alone these kids breathe. How can I see them? How can I interact with them? They're disgusting. And these people, I got to tell you, I just told Chris to send Gina a link. I don't know if he can get in touch with her via text or whatever, but I heard, speaking of meetings, that Ploss, the boss, was with Gina, and they caused some commotion. Shut down a meeting tonight, and rightfully so, because you go check in your towns. You don't need human rights commissions. You have a constitution. You don't need this. It's all a ploy. Again, the Great Reset. It's all this stuff is all one big bullshit ball of nonsense to take us over. That's what it is.
But look at how many parents are sending their kids, or they're standing at the bus stop outside with one kid there and a mask on. Are you kidding me? They get on the bus. If it's not family, they can only sit one child to a seat. If they're family, 2 children to a seat. So now you're discriminating on the bus because you don't have family?
Listen,
can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up. I heard this little boy, I heard the parent tell me, I'm like, you know, because the parent works, I'm like, why can't you get them to take the bus? They let all the other people, right? Well, I'm not a mile and 50. You're right down the street, or it has to be over a mile. So if you go over a mile, drop one up down the street there, you can't stop. These politicians are disgusting. And I think you must have heard that Governor Faker, Charlie Baker, is not running again. So you know what that means. People are all excited. Yay, yay. So let's have another selection now. So let's bring in another selection. See, they think we're stupid. So I hope people are listening in Massachusetts and up in New Hampshire. This is what they do. They select, because until they fix 2020 election, there will never be another fair election.
Correct.
There are people that I adore that are running for certain things. One's running for Congress, certain things. They'll never get elected. It's never going to happen.
Nope, because of the Dominion machines, because of the governors and judicial branch of government that changed the law under the guise that we were in a pandemic, an epidemic, and they can't, but they did. And the Department of Health and Human Services, they have all the preparations, all the rules, all the necessary RSAs to take care of it. But these guys stuck their nose in it because it was all about cheating in the voting, getting extra votes, flipping votes, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. That's why they did it.
Yeah. And you know Jeff Deal's running. No deal for me. But I know the GOP are they're so excited. You know, everybody, well, you know, listen, I'll eat my words. If he comes in and does the right things and takes down the CRT, takes down the social and emotional learning and all that stuff, I'll be all about it. But I haven't seen one of them yet that has stayed with their promises.
Correct. They come in. Oh, I like that person. I'd have a glass of wine with them. Oh, I like this person. I'll have a beer with them. That's how you're judging somebody that determines what your taxes are. That's how you determine whether someone's going to decide whether you can breathe or not. That's how you decide whether a person's you're going to be forced to get jabbed with poison.
Because they're nice. Let me vote for him because he's nice.
They like me.
Oh, and I know, because I know his brother, his sister's uncle's ass, and he has an O behind his name. No, vote for the person that can do the job. That's what you're going to vote for, the person that can do it for you, not because of his name or his, nationality. You got to vote for what's right. I see more patriots getting involved, and I see more patriots fighting with the GOP. It is what it is, because when they get in and they want to run, they tell them, well, it's not your turn. Step in line over there.
Yep.
What's happening?
Yep. So don't give your money, whatever side of the aisle you're on, do not give your money to those committees. You give the money to the candidate directly, because unless they're selected, you don't get to elect.
No, you don't. You don't. Albert must have had a technical issue. Actually, let me tell you a little about Albert. I wanted to bring you on because of the firearms and the training, because I know you have a good friend and I know you do a lot of training. But he just moved to Nashville and he rode all day. So I'm sure I didn't even think to ask him, hey, how's your internet connection? So maybe if he comes on, we will bring him on. But
absolutely.
It's just amazing, like the things that are going on. And
well, I have to tell you that one of my trainers is down at the border for real, not with the regulars. I don't want to use that other word, the regulars.
Yeah.
And you know what they're doing for real? Saving the kids. For all the people that don't believe that, I can prove it.
You know something? I want to roll a clip. Chris, this is clip 2. It's funny that you said that. They're down there for real, because we have a couple of friends at Jeremy Liggett's down there with I think his name's Samuel. I don't want to say it wrong. I probably already did, but they're doing great things down there, bringing us the real news, which we try to do because we don't watch mainstream media. And don't forget, you can catch us on My Broadcasters News and Reviews. It's Telegram Messenger. We're on there Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights. We show clips and we talk about it. And sometimes the guys like to jump on for Saturday. So there's where you can find us after the shows. And we have a great time, actually. But I want him to cue this up because, they want us in a low mindset so that we don't think of anything else but the variant. We don't think about anything else but the masks. We don't think about anything else. And this is what they've been doing to us for a long time. And we've been falling for it. And we've been sleeping. I mean, look, remember? I was talking to Sophia earlier. She couldn't make it because she had something to do. But we were talking about how, remember when Marilyn Manson came out and he was showing blood and doing satanic rituals right in front of us with his music? And I'll never forget. And I said to her, my daughter was small at that time. And my daughter said to me, Mommy, he's not coming to our house, is he?
No.
And we're just all thinking, it's art. It's rock and roll. It's music, because we were accepting of all of this bullshit when they were doing it in front of us. Just when Gaga did with the drinking of the blood, you wanted an Emmy for it, right? From children and all of it. So I have this clip I want to play for people because remember, this is we are at war. And I'm going to say it every time on the show. We are at war. Whether you believe it or not, we are at war. And we're trying, and they're saving the children, and we're trying to get to people who are still not in the awakening. Most of our followers are in the awakening, I gotta say. And the ones that aren't, they're awesome because they come over and they want to wake up. They want to know what's going on. And that's the beauty of it. And you don't have to agree with us because we're not for everybody. So, Chris, can you roll that clip on trafficking?
I want to make it clear today that my administration will focus on ending the absolutely horrific practice of human trafficking. And I am prepared to bring the full force and weight of our government in order to solve this horrific problem. Solving the human trafficking epidemic is a priority for my administration.
Million adults and children. That is the number of people believed to be exploited by human trafficking worldwide.
Without you, nothing would happen.
Jesus, my Lord, our Father, my God, Hail Mary, Holy Spirit, I need you.
That's a great video. Powerful video. And absolutely true.
You know, I saw that and then I started thinking, you know me, I always like to go back to some of the shows we did. And I started thinking, you know, we talked about Evergreen. We talked about the ship that got stuck in the middle of the Suez Canal, which was biblical, the Red Sea, right? And then why? Trucks were stopped, Evergreen. Whose company was it? Hillary, right? Hillary companies. They showed tunnels underneath. They showed tunnels, I mean, everywhere. And they showed chairs, like, you know, like sitting in a bus with the seat strapped in. Human trafficking, children being trafficked by these boats also in the night, dropped off, bringing down these tunnels. For what? For torture, adrenochrome, for their use. You look at some of these websites. Remember we were talking about Wayfair a while ago?
Oh, God, yes. The $5,000 side table or whatever it was, or the $3,000 pair of shoes. Absolutely vile. And Walmart did the same thing. You could all of a sudden, oh, for a bookcase, it's only $5,000. And it really meant that you were buying a child.
A child.
Buying a child. Who knew that Pizzagate, what that really meant from 44? The things that we've been dragged.
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Ice cream. Simple things, like they throw it in our face. Like it's been in the thing that kills me the most. This stuff has been in our faces, and myself too. I didn't know. Oh, Obama's going to have a hot dog party. Oh, well, you whip-de-doo, right? Meanwhile, from the tunnels, they're bringing kids up.
It's vile. I had no idea. I knew they had sort of tunnels that connected things, but I thought, oh, you know, that's so they can go incognito from one place to the other. And then I find out they're trafficking kids. I find out that's how the prostitutes go back and forth. And then we find out there's even deeper tunnels. And in those deeper tunnels are 18-wheelers.
Look at Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
Reading article after article. Now the bunnies are coming out and saying the gates in front weren't for people not to come in. They were so they couldn't get out. Like they're probably doing at the Capitol. They had Hugh Hefner, come on. They were bringing in kids too for trafficking. No one's going to tell me different.
Absolutely. You know, and let's not be so cavalier about, well, you know, some of those girls were 14 or 15. That's a baby. That's a little girl or a little boy.
That's right. That's right. And you know, when you think about it, they've been doing like these dirty deeds like for the longest time, and our dirty, rotten scumbag government knows about it. CIA, if they know about it, they're the ones that do it.
Absolutely. It's where's the trust? Why aren't they doing their jobs? Why is this all perversion and stealing and lying and cheating and killing and all this stuff? Why are they involved in this? They're supposed to be the ones that protect us, protect the kids. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't stand near one of them because if lightning strikes, I don't want to be near them because they're the ones that did not take care of the kid. Yeah.
God will take them out anyway. God will take them out.
Not my problem.
Is this Johnny? What does it say? I got to put on my goggles. I can't read it.
We're at war with an ancient evil.
We sure are. Is Johnny backstage? Give me a thumbs up so I can know. I know we're having a problem on LinkedIn tonight. This is our first time tonight on Rumble, so we want to say hello. Like I said, I told you about my breakup. Did you cry, Jocelyn? My breakup with Facebook.
I'm seconds from it. As soon as we get everything up and running, shutting down all the pages. I'll keep the family one maybe just because I got family, but all the other stuff's gone. It's going. You know, these people, every time I turn around, you've been fact checked. Fact checked by who?
By what?
With what? Where you get your facts? Because mine's coming from the person saying it. So how's that fact checked?
Do you ever get the ones the minute you put it out, they fact checked it? Did you read it? Did you see it? You know what I mean? You know. I mean, look at poor our producer, Chris. Never put up a political post. Never talked about anything religion. He can't even do a live right now because he's guilty by association with us.
So that lets you know it's an algorithm, and you know that they purposefully made this algorithm so it looks for words, looks for deeds, looks for associations, whatever you want to say. It's an algorithm, and it's pre-planned, and they can't say it's not. And it's just sickening. We've got people that went to a meeting, they report exactly on the meeting, and then they're told, you're a liar, we fact check you, that didn't happen. I mean, it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. It's the other thing I was going to say is the word desensitizing. That was the pretty word. Well, we're just desensitizing you, so you're not so offended. Whoa. Whoa.
So we're going to dumb you down. We're going to desensitize your children from the freaking, I got a new one. We're going to desensitize them from making sex and the dirty, rotten porn that they're putting in the comprehensive sexuality education. We're going to make it all right. So by the time they get to the 6th grade, they're doing things that I never did probably till I was 50. And
exactly. And making so that it's okay, and making it so that they decide for your kids. They shouldn't be doing anything. The time has come. Pull your kids out of school. Stop paying the portion, your property tax portion that goes to the schools, because they're not listening. They're going full speed ahead, and the governors and all these people are taking money from the federal government, which is really ours, that went to the government and they came back to us. And they're doing anything they damn well please. Today I was listening to our superintendent, and this is what you got to do, people. You don't have to be super smart, because I'm not. But he says, the cases are skyrocketing. So the first thing you got to say to yourself, and just say it out loud to the TV or, whatever you're listening to, what cases? Because they don't say. Oh, they're skyrocketing. Well, what cases are skyrocketing? Yeah. Well, it's all 5th grade and 6th graders. Oh, you mean the ones that you just started jabbing?
That's a whole nother thing of child abuse for me. I mean, that right there, don't you know, how parents have been fighting with this autism? I have a doctor that told me there is no such thing as autism. You know what autism is? When they start sticking them. That's what it is.
I just saw figures that it used to be 1 in, now the number just went out of my head. Something like 1 in 100,000. It's now 1 in 34. And this report went right back to the time that Fauci started working in the government and doing all these scientific experiments, because that's what they are.
Yep.
And it all started then. They did not have the numbers of cases of side effects and diseases and dying till all that started.
Did you see Fakey? Speaking of Fakey, did you see him? I think Ducey asked him a question from the, the fake media too. Well, he asked about if when they're coming over the border, do they have to get, tested? And oh yeah, they got to get tested. It didn't even look like him, but they got to come over. They're already over the border. No one got tested. No one got the jab. What are you talking about, you fake? Please, I'm on my 12 Days of Christmas song. I'm up to, I think if Jennifer Trano's in the house, I'm going to use her line for 5 booster vaccines.
I love that one. Yep.
4 mandates, 3 new laws, 2 friggin' masks, and SARS, AIDS, and COVID-19. So we're up to 5 right now. He's such a fake. You look at him, he's a fake. It doesn't even look like him, but we're going to get back to that because we're doing Nothing's Happening. We're doing ASOM. I hope you're going to stick around for that. But I want to go back to the schools for one more thing that I wrote out because this really pissed me off. Now, we all know about social and emotional. And also another little child told me, I said, so, how's school? I was talking with them and their mother. Oh, it's good. Do they teach you yet about anything, with sex, like we talked about with your mother? Oh, no, but we have a class now. Black, brown, and right. The minute she said that, I was like,
CRT.
We have to be nice to. I said, let me see the book. So that's going to be my another journey. But this is the best one that came from Massachusetts Informed Parents. Okay, you ready for this? Everybody sitting down. Here's a new little course. These are key messages. I was going to use this for you shitting me, but I got to do it now. Outer course.
A what?
Outer course.
Outer course?
Outer course. So I only took a little notes because we're gonna move on, and I'll pull it up while we have a panel, which refers to sexual activities that exclude. I can't even say these words, but I have to, because parents gotta know to get up and fight these demons. Excludes vaginal, anal, oral intercourse, and also excludes non-penetrative oral sex. So many ways that people can express their sexual feelings by kissing, hugging, rubbing bodies together, mutual master, massages, sharing fantasies, and so much more. This is pure shit, smut. Thank God I don't have a kid in the school, because I will be doing time right about now.
Oh my God.
Outer course. Who makes this shit up?
Who's got the time to make it up, let alone name it? And they need a job. They need a job breaking boulders.
This is for the teachers. This is their key. This is their key messages. These are for teachers. So this is implemented with the CSE.
And the teachers want a raise to say those words to your granddaughter and my kids.
Grandson, children. This is what's going on. But I don't want to get too fired up, because I got a lot more for Ace. That was for ASUM, but I got to bring it back, because you're going to stick around, Jocelyn?
I'll stick around, absolutely.
Because we're going to be doing Nothing's Happening in ASUM, but I want to bring up Gas Can is in the house.
Okay,
so
I'll see you in a little bit.
I'll see you in a while, Jocelyn. Thank you for coming on. That's
My
Jocelyn
pleasure.
Davis from Just Jocelyn. And she's on Tuesday nights, 8 to 9 p.m. And her chats are also on mybroadcasters.com. Let's see. I don't know. I want to see what Gas Can's going to tell me tonight. He is in the house. I know that. Chris?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance: under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer and that would be eliminated from schools too?
Well, hello.
Hey, everybody. Ooh, what a day.
Long day.
Sick bastards that you guys are talking. Oh, man, I just got my blood boiling.
I know. We got to be a little nice, because Albert is in the house. He was lost. He was MIA, but he's here. So we're going to do our segment, then bring him on, because after I announced him, he wasn't there. So I thought Hillary's friends might have been in the house, and I'm looking for him. Where's Albert? But what do you got for us tonight? Didn't that piss you off, Johnny?
Oh, I'm fucking irate. I want to.
Yep. This is what they're doing to our children. This is what they're doing.
Leave the fucking children alone.
People don't understand the damage they're doing to them, not only, with the curriculum, but with their minds, and how they're blocking them. Like, these kids are going to grow up thinking that this is normal, to cover their mouths and to muzzle them and not show emotion. So you got all these things that are piling up, and then you got all these communists at the school board meetings that we got to fight. But I'll tell you about another situation later. But I want to know tonight what you have for us, Johnny. Johnny gives us history lessons. Gas Can. He's always, helping us out with the Constitution. What do you got?
Well, tonight we got the 5th Amendment. Everybody should know that one. That's the one that you should use anytime you deal with the police. It entails shut the fuck up and don't talk to the police. Don't fucking incriminate yourself. They can't charge you twice with the same crime. That's all covered in the 5th Amendment. But these sneaky bastards also put in a forfeiture clause where they can seize your assets. If it's for the good of the community, they'll pay you market value for it. But then in the 1930s, they put in another clause in it where they can seize your assets, and then you have to prove you didn't get your assets illegally. That kind of goes against the whole Constitution. You know, innocent until proven guilty, that's one of our rights too. You got to watch these bastards, but this is one that everybody needs to study because they can use this against us. This is one of the few that they can use against us.
Well, doesn't it? Didn't you say something? How this goes along with the January 6th prisoners?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we're all entitled to a right to a speedy trial, and they're holding these prisoners in Washington D.C. and have never charged them. Most of them. The only way these people are getting out is if they cop a plea, which is something you should never do. Make them prove you're guilty, and the proof is on them. Never admit if you fucked up. Don't admit it. Make them prove it. But they're in a foreign country right now. Washington, D.C. is a foreign sovereign nation. So your Constitution, I'm pretty sure, don't apply in foreign countries. That's why they're able to get away with what they're doing to these people. They're holding them, not charging them, not treating them right. I mean, we're at war with a foreign country in our own land.
In our own land.
Where we're at.
Let me see if we can get some. While Johnny's gas cans talking, I mean, let's see if we can get some. We can get some questions up on the feed for gas can, because usually there are questions to tell you, but I never get to. Well, we can't see a lot of questions because number one, we got the Nazis on Facebook. They're blocking us, so we got that to deal with, and all of our pages are in jeopardy. So let's just finish up with what we got, because I think you're going to join us with ASIM and nothing's happening.
Yes.
Tonight was
I'm
very
tired right now, so.
Yeah, well, tonight was a very screwy night. You should have just took the night off if you wanted. Sophia had a problem herself, and Albert was late, so everything is like, woo!
Oh, yeah, it's crazy, but we'll improvise and overcome. Never surrender. Never surrender, folks.
At least we're not the fake news, so that was the Fifth Amendment.
No, the conspiracy theories on the globalist truths.
This, I had posted something about how, someone was so excited about, oh, Governor Baker stepping down. Yeah, so we're going to get another one, another selection, right? And so I wrote, Trump is your president. And what does he put? He puts tinfoil, all tinfoil up. I said, thank you, but I already have one of those hats. But thank you anyway. People don't know how to have conversation. It's always about attacking. The other side always attacks. As you know, we've all been attacked. We've all had our character defamated. We've all been in newspapers. They've blown our faces. They dox us, all of it. Trolls. We're immune to it. Doesn't matter what you do. We're fighting World War III.
Sticks and stones, motherfucker.
Break my bones. Johnny, go take a little rest. Stick around. We're going to do Nothing's Happening, and we're going to also do ASIM, all right?
I just want to say, Charlie Baker ain't got the balls to run against Diana Ploss.
Ploss is boss, and she was rocking it tonight in Revere. All right, I'll talk to you in a while. The backwoods. I'm gonna name it the backwoods show tonight because everything was backwards. So let me go back to Albert. I gave you a nice intro, Albert, owner and foundation of Red Dragon Self-Defense USA, Second Amendment supporter and defender, NRA certified, private lectures, classes for small groups, office organizations, clubs. He specializes in training both women and children. That's the thing that I want to ask him, and so much more. So let's welcome Albert to Street Talk.
How you doing?
What happened to you?
I'm still getting used to being on Central Time. I had to flee New Jersey.
Oh yeah, I hear you. That what happened?
Yeah, it's a little crazy when you have the Attorney General of New Jersey calling you a terrorist for saying he doesn't have the right to censor the Second Amendment.
Wow. So you booked it.
Yeah, you know what? It was a lot of years of dealing with being treated like a pariah in your own home because you believe in the Constitution. About 2 years ago, a couple of other Second Amendment activists and myself put out a statement countering the New Jersey Attorney General's claims that Basically, we don't have the right to own firearms. So what ended up happening was we put out that statement. A good friend of all of ours, a man that I know, Anthony, who owns Gun for Hire, one of the absolute best gun ranges in New Jersey, put it out on his podcast, the statement we made. And Anthony really is the tip of the spear when it comes to Second Amendment rights in New Jersey. So when they heard him read that out, they called myself and the other gentleman and the young lady who wrote the rebuttal a terrorist. And, that was for me, kind of the last straw. I was like, why am I staying in a state where everything is backwards? We had the governor come out and say, if taxes are your issue, you shouldn't live here. Well, I don't live there now. I live in Tennessee. We just moved into Nashville, literally yesterday.
I know.
And we're very excited because much better gun laws, no state income tax. And my wife and I will be able to afford to buy a house when we're ready because it's not an insane property tax that makes it impossible for anyone to survive.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that because, we're going through the same thing here in Massachusetts. We have the same, only, I'm a racist.
Yep.
I'm a racist. I'm a white supremacist. What else am I? I'm a lot of things. A lot of things.
Don't worry about it. I'm a first generation American. My father's from Cuba and I'm a racist. I hate immigrants. I'm evil because I believe in coming to this country legally like my family did.
Right.
And how dare I assume that somebody's capable of filling out an immigration form?
It's getting to the point where things are getting I don't even think there's a word stupider, but I'm Italian. I make up my own words. Stupider and stupider and more stupid. Like you're watching this all play out and saying, wow, look at these people. They hate America. They actually hate America. But I want to get back to you because we're going to put your Red Dragon up there. But, I was looking at your bio, Albert, and I was wondering, a lot of women starting to take self-defense classes?
We're seeing more and more. And it was something I always enjoyed teaching. I've taught martial arts most of my life. I had some really, really great teachers. And it's something that I wanted to bring to other people. So if somebody contacts me and says, you know what, I'm coming out of a bad situation. I'm worried my boyfriend's going to hurt me. I just bought a gun, but I don't know how to use it. I'm willing to give them that first class for free just to make sure they're safe with that gun. Because there are certain situations that just you don't want to put a price on. And if it's someone in that kind of circumstance, I want to make sure they're safe, that they know how to use that gun in an emergency. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, what a lot of people don't know is even Bruce Lee carried a 45 ACP. Because realistically, I could probably fight a couple of guys, but if a couple of guys suddenly pull out a gun, a knife, a chain, even if it's one guy,
can you stop a bullet? Yeah. When we were kids, it's like you want to fight, but it's not one-on-one anymore. They're putting out guns and knives. This is a whole new thing, and especially women. We need to learn self-defense. We need to carry. We need to protect ourselves, especially when we're going out to work or just simple things. Especially they're pulling them in cars. They got all these new techniques. Hey, smell this perfume, and then they got some stuff. There's so many different techniques, and some people say, "Nah, it won't happen to me." It doesn't matter if it won't happen to you. Be prepared. Just be prepared.
One thing we've seen happen to women all over the country is another woman will be used as the decoy. They'll say, "Hey, my baby's choking. Could you look at my car? Help me. There's something wrong with my baby." And most women, because of that nurturing need, despite what liberals want to say, women are still women, men are still men. Women have maternal instinct, and they're going to hear a baby's in trouble and go running towards it. That's just a natural thing. And there's a lot of things I like to show people about situational awareness, where to keep your gun, even in that kind of situation, how to be aware of what's going on around you, because that's when these horrible scenarios happen, where somebody else was waiting in the car. Somebody was just around the car waiting to push her in.
Right.
And, that's what we're dealing with nowadays.
So I was, again, reading about you on your bio, and I was amazed that you had the word children. You're training children. That is fucking awesome. Excuse my French. I didn't know if you
No
know French.
problem.
But, all right, children.
Yeah.
So explain that to us.
So I think martial arts is a really great step for kids at an early age. It instills discipline, which was something I needed when I was a kid because I was just getting into fights all the time. The funny thing is, by the time I was a black belt at 18, I wasn't getting into that many fights anymore. And if I was, it was mostly to stick up for somebody else.
Right.
So that's a big thing for kids. Once kids reach a certain age, with their parent there, it's a great thing to start teaching them firearm safety, to teach them how to use a gun. There have been a lot of studies, and it shows that the kids who were taught about guns, who weren't made to think that they're a toy or this boogeyman in the closet, wouldn't touch a gun if it was left out. You know, I believe the NRA had published it. There was a study with a bunch of kids in a room with a fake gun, and the kids whose parents were terrified of guns and never showed them a gun immediately played with the damn thing. But the kids who went through an Eddie Eagle program or any kind of instruction on firearms would grab at the teacher, the one teacher who was standing in the corner pretending to be unaware, and say, hey, there's a gun on the table. There was even in one of the videos, the kid telling another kid, don't touch that. It's not safe, because he was taught by his parents. So, you know, unfortunately, a lot of parents don't have that ability to teach their children because they don't know. So I always say, let's do it as a family class. Let's sit down with the kids. Let's show them that this is not a toy. This is important. And we hear all the time, well, we hear if we look for the right media now because they don't want to put it on the mainstream media,
Right.
the 12-year-old, the 10-year-old kid who took a gun and stopped mommy from getting killed in a house situation, or who saved his little sister, or who kept the house from getting robbed because daddy taught him where the shotgun was.
Awesome. You know, I think more parents should start doing it. Not only that, they're abducting kids, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, you got to take this risk in life. I know sometimes people are afraid. Look, they're afraid of everything. They're afraid of the new variants, for Pete's sake. Like, come on, grow a set, you know, and start taking care of our children because they want our children. They've been wanting our children. I don't even believe anymore about, remember the milk cartons when the milk cartons used to come up? I think they used to put that in front of our face, and it was really human trafficking. They already knew what the person was. I don't believe anything anymore that the news says. That's why we do these shows, to bring out the message.
And we're seeing it in the media. We had to watch them attack a young man named Kyle Rittenhouse for defending himself, but we don't want to televise the sex perverts and the woman who worked with Jeffrey Epstein's trial.
Insane
That's
macro. Yeah, it's too much. They got to go to counsel. And I just read, you weren't here, I just read off Etsy. My friend ordered a shirt, said acquitted, and Etsy took them down, took their website down. I'm dying to get the couple on my show because they stopped all their orders. They took down their website. And now I'm finding out that I think it was Levi's and what was the other company? I don't have it in front of me, but Levi's and Best Buy. Now they're offering counseling because the Rittenhouse trial, you know, they have, I mean, sick in the mind. Remember what Trump said, everything woke goes to shit. So they'll go down, and we have the power to do it with our money, not to buy things from these people. And once you learn this, you'll understand how we can take them down.
Absolutely. You know? Well, I tell people to remember, a company like Levi's started on the backs of hardworking Americans who were in the coal mines. And now they're ashamed of that same group of people. So I stopped buying Levi's and their subsidiaries like Dockers, and started buying more Wrangler brands.
That's it.
Things like that. Little changes that you can make that really don't affect you.
There's always an alternative out, but like people, oh, what are we going to do for Christmas? There's going to be no, you know, I was in the store. It takes usually boom, boom, boom. I'm in and out. I know what I want now. I got to look at everything. It takes me longer. Made in China. Made in China. See you later. Made in China. You know? So exactly. It has to be this way because you won't have ships stuck out there if they're made in America. So that's go buy American products. Getting back to you, I read that you learned at an early age, your grandfather worked in a gun store.
One of my grandfather's last jobs before he retired in this country, he was a woodworker for an Army Navy factory that created replica firearms. They were functional guns, but they were basically new versions of very old guns, like musket rifles and things of that nature.
Wow.
So since I was a little kid, when my grandfather wanted me to be entertained, he handed me a saw, a hammer, some nails, and a piece of wood and said, make something. And I think that's a big thing we're missing with kids today. They don't even know how to work Legos anymore, it seems like.
Right. And that's a good point, because we were talking about the school earlier with this bullshit, teaching them gender neutral in kindergarten. You want to be a boy, you want to be a girl, Common Core. 5 and 5 is 10. No, it's not. It could be 9 because you don't want to hurt 9's feelings. There's so much. We could go off on a tangent, but they should have. Remember, we had woodwork for the boys. We had home ec for the girls. The way it is today. So what? You want boy wants to cook, you put him in the class. But they don't offer this. They're offering this other federal grant programs that are the critical race theory, comprehensive sexuality education, social and emotional learning. They're all fluffed up with these beautiful little, colors and drawings that make it look unicorns and happy rainbows. And it's a bunch of crap. So you got to keep an eye on these programs. And I think you got to keep an eye on the things that you do, protecting yourself. So tell us again where everybody can find you.
You can find me at reddragonselfdefenseusa.com. You can find me on Facebook at Red Dragon Self-Defense USA. Twitter, which I'm a little bit on. I'm not a big fan of Twitter. I do have a page on TikTok, but I'm not allowed to be friends with anybody anymore on TikTok because the Chinese got angry about guns. And, they won't respond to me anymore. They just tell me that there's nothing wrong with my page. I just can't like people ever again.
Unbelievable. Well,
so I have all that going on. But to your point with the school thing, I would say the biggest problem we have with these kids losing it and, going, for a lack of a better word, postal, is we're not letting kids fight back anymore. We're letting them get bullied. We're telling them if they take a swing that they're in trouble. Throw a couple of kids in a ring, throw some gloves on and a helmet, and let them settle it like men. Don't just let a kid get picked on for years until he snaps. And most of the time, they're picking on a kid who already has an issue. Maybe he's a little autistic. Maybe he's got something going on at home. Maybe he's being abused and nobody knows about it. And now he's going to school and being tortured. And that's really a scary sight, that we have a situation where rather than calling somebody like me to a school to do a once a week boxing class or kickboxing class or whatever the school would like, let's let the kids settle it. Let's let them go to the ring, beat each other up a little bit, and put it to an end. Most of us, up until Columbine, there was no school shootings. And I remember when that happened. I was in high school and we were sitting there going, the hell just happened over there? That's insane. And, to the point of guns, have you ever heard of a school shooting in an inner city school? I'm just saying, a lot of those kids know that some of the nasty kids might have a gun on them, and they don't want to come in and take the chance. So gun control doesn't only not work, it proves the fact that guns are necessary, because these mass shootings only happen in gun-free zones. You've never heard of anybody having any success going into a gun range and starting trouble. It happened once in Louisiana, and the guy got so full of lead, I think they had to use a giant magnet to take him out of the parking lots.
In my opinion, I could be wrong with some of them, are false flags. I mean, they happen. People think when I say false flag, it didn't happen. No, it happens. But something went on to bring this on. Again, for you to look at this, don't look at this. Look at that. Want to take your guns. They do amazing things. And the first thing we got to take down is the media, the enemy of the people. And I agree with you. Kids should fight. We did. Want to take it after school? I'll see you after school. We used to, even girls, used to fight it out, duke it out, kill each other's hair, and go home scratches. And even your mother would say, "Come on, you want to go? 1-on-1, not jumping, 5 people jumping in." There's a rule of law in the streets. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
And that's a great point that you make. Make these kids, stop making them soft and weak, that they can't do anything. They just got to be kind and good and nice, and don't. It doesn't work. We just got to let our kids be kids and let the parents do their thing at home. See, they want to take your kids in school and brainwash them against parents.
Absolutely. And we've seen some of that already in the 2A community, where teachers are asking students, hey, does mommy and daddy own a gun? I've gotten some of those emails from people saying, hey, did you hear about this? Somebody asked my kid this. What do I do? And I tell them, tell your kid you don't talk about what mommy and
I
daddy
do.
have at home. And then you go down there and you have a very serious conversation with that teacher about who the hell they think they are to get involved in your personal life with your children.
Yep. Before you got on, we were just talking about family values. My father used to say, sit at the table. You never talk about anything when you go to school or anywhere when you're talking at this table. Put your phones down. Old school. There's nothing like bringing back a little, because just like fashion, everything comes around, right?
Yep.
Just in a different form. So we're never going to lose these values. We just have to keep instilling them. And we, the parents and the grandparents, have to keep doing it and keep fighting these tyrants at the school board meetings and all this. And you keep doing what you're doing. That's a great idea. I have a guy out here, Donnie Palmer. He's running for Congress. He's a boxer also. And he's trying to he has a big fight coming up, and he's trying to get kids to come in, duke it out, or come after school and have some sports. No, not at school sitting with the lunch mother and not doing nothing. They're in there 8 hours a day. I homeschooled. It took me 3.5 hours. The kid learned more than they're learning in 8 hours.
Well, that's because we have to create subjects just like we did in college, just to give people a job who took a subject that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know what women's studies gets you other than teaching women's studies.
Well, you must come back and
Absolutely.
talk with us again. The whole show we were waiting for you. I was all excited to hear what you had to say, but God bless you and your family.
You too.
Have a Merry
Thank you.
Christmas, and I'm glad you made it to Nashville safe.
Thank you.
That's Albert Enriquez. So, oh my God, it's been crazy. Gas can's a little tight. Hopefully the next segment he'll rev up, but right now, oh my God, let me just go through where you can find us. I don't know how we doing. Does Rocky want to come on and say how we're doing? Are we rumbling? Are we over at Rumble? Because I know Facebook shut everything I try to share, but they're not being nice to me. Sorry, Gas Can. I just saw your message. The next time you'll have to just put yourself on the stream or ask Chris, and that would have been great for you to ask him a question. I thought about it, but I wasn't sure because you said you were kind of tired. So again, you can donate to us at Patreon. It's a monthly, even if it's $1, $5, or you can go to giveaway.com. We use it for software. Now Rumble is charging us a fee, so we have to pay a fee a month to keep away from Facebook. So it's like restarting again. I'm still in Facebook jail. I just broke up with them on live broadcast because they're not going to abuse me anymore like a bad relationship. They're not going to keep putting me in Facebook jail. They're not going to keep blocking me. They're not going to keep shutting my notifications off. I've had enough. And weaning is good, but if you guys can follow us at Rumble, I think it's My Broadcasters. Jocelyn's over there, just Jocelyn, and Stiletto D, so you can catch us over there. I think new is good. Sometimes we don't like change, but I think it has to happen. So at this point, this is when I got to put on my thinking cap, because here comes Canadian Patriot Carly with the devolution. She is going to bring it tonight. So let's bring on my girl from Canada. Let's roll it, Carly.
We're finally ending the NAFTA nightmare and signing into law the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. Very special. Very, very special. The USMCA is the largest, fairest, most balanced, and modern trade agreement ever achieved. There's never been anything like it. Other countries are now looking at it. This is a colossal victory for our farmers, ranchers, energy workers, factory workers, and American workers in all 50 states.
Hey.
Hello, 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 my friend.
How are you?
I am wonderful tonight. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there, other than the show is backwards. I don't know who's on, who's left, who's gone. Hopefully from here we're good. But thank God, I'm tripolar, so I know how to work it.
Hey, as long as it's all working out, that's all that matters.
So
we're going back into our devolution.
Yeah, I do want to get back into our devolution. I don't know if you wanted, I wanted to play a clip about Kash Patel, and then maybe it's a 7-minute clip. I want people to be patient. I can go like this and we can cut it, because I know you were going to follow up, do a little from February 10th where you left off, and then get right into it on March with Joey B. But did you want to play the clip after, or I think we should watch
it now. Do it now.
When Canadian says do it now, we roll. We do it now. Chris, I think that is clip. Oh my God, clip 3, I believe.
Just it started, looking at specifically the election and trying to figure out what happened and what Trump did, around that time frame, and then it just naturally kind of worked backwards from there. But it is incredible that these people that have been in control of our government, I wasn't even into politics until about 2018. I didn't really follow along, and so I didn't, realize how bad the Obama years really were and some of the corruption that went on then. But when you think about it, Trump's entire term, and the reason they fought him so hard was to cover up a lot of what happened during Obama, especially the Spygate stuff. They were so afraid of anybody other than Hillary Clinton getting into office in 2016 that they fabricated this whole Russia story and illegally did some really bad stuff to try to prevent Trump from taking office. It's a miracle that he still won. And then Trump's first term, they spent trying to cover up what they did. They did the Mueller hoax, and then they went to impeach him, and then it resulted with what happened on November 3rd, the shenanigans that went down. So it's remarkable to realize that not only has all that existed, but the media has been complicit in covering it up, and it's scary to think about what they'll do. They'll do literally anything they can to prevent what their crimes from surfacing. But it does appear that we're getting closer to reaching a resolution, and they're not going to be able to get away with everything.
So I think that for a lot of people watching what's happening in our country, it's really hard to see whether it's the open borders, the crisis there, the mandates they're now rolling out, people losing their jobs, what happened in Afghanistan. It's very difficult to think that Trump might still have some control at all at this stage. So where's the actual proof? Like, how can you look at this and think that there is still some involvement of Trump in the military, considering that it seems like our whole country's just gone to hell in a handbasket under Biden?
Yeah, it definitely has, and I think it's kind of been allowed to happen, but there's a purpose behind it. So when you think of leading up to January 20th, I think, just like most of us, we all thought Trump was going to make some sort of move to prevent Biden from being inaugurated, right? And I think that the Democrats felt the same way. They thought he had something up his sleeve. That's why the whole January 6th event went down the way it did. That's why they rushed to impeach him, to prevent him from taking office. And when Trump walked away, I think he surprised a lot of people, but he did it for a couple of reasons. And the primary one was, if he would have prevented Joe Biden, with tensions being so high, I think we would have had a small scale civil war of sorts. I mean, Antifa and BLM, the rioting, whatnot. He walked away to save lives. And so if you look at where we are now compared to January 20th, what's happened? You've had Joe Biden take office, and the Democrats and all their policies have, we see their vision for America, and it's not a pretty one. And I think it's waking a lot of people up. There's a majority of Americans are pretty upset with the direction this country's going, and they weren't feeling that way before. It was probably 50-50 roughly back on January 20th. What is it now? 75-25? Who knows? But not only that, then the media too, they're starting to lose their grip on a lot of the narratives that they've had in place for a long time, like including this whole Durham and the Russian hoax and everything. So Trump had to walk away in order to basically red pill America. And he's not even the one that's doing it, but in order for him to actually come back, he needs enough Americans awake and accepting of his return. So the important thing to specifically answer your question is this is a war. This might not be good to talk about in this hour. We can maybe talk about a little more in the next hour. But there are two things I can point at that almost prove that we're in a war, an unproclaimed, non-public, a silent war of sorts. And when you think that we're at war, when you realize that there are going to be casualties of war in a sense, and there's going to be suffering and pain, and we have to go through that to get to the other side and win the war long term. And so there are some things that aren't easy to accept, but I think when you realize the full scale of what Trump is doing, I think it's going to be worth it when it's all said and done. But and Trump doesn't necessarily have his hand in everything. He's more so the devolution plan. It's a contingency plan, and it's essentially preventing the country from being totally, completely burnt to the ground. Or maybe it's an attack from a foreign country directly, or maybe it's just they're protecting our power grid, or what it might, who knows exactly what they've prioritized. But Biden has some level of control. but whenever he makes a move, Trump and his players that are, now in the private sector, they almost do their counter moves. So like the vaccine mandate with OSHA, right? One of the groups that Trump has set up, and that I believe is part of this devolution plan, they're the ones that are litigating that OSHA mandate and got it, to
That's
stop.
the America First Policy Center.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, so they do have their hand in there. They're still implementing some of Trump's policies and agendas. A lot of it's through media and marketing, and then through actual lawsuits and litigation. And then there's some other interesting groups that we can talk about too when we get to the Part 13. But yeah, that's a good question. Lawsuits and litigation, and then there's some other interesting groups that we can talk about too.
Why is that echoing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Hi, Carly. You can shut that off.
Hello.
So, that's cash, right?
That is Patel Patriot, who has used Cash Patel's name as his avatar.
Okay.
And he's done a great job on breaking this down. And I was able to actually, because the StreamYard wasn't showing it, but so I jumped on my phone to watch it. So, technologically a little bit challenged here, but we're working with it. And he was hitting exactly the points of the national essential functions. So he's talking about the things that Trump put in place to ensure that the country doesn't burn to the ground. He may not have control of everything, but there's moves and counter moves. So getting back into where we had just gone through January 6th and who had infiltrated January 6th. And we know that Special Ops was also in the crowd in January 6th because who got the laptops, which has yet to be discussed, yet to be brought out to the public, right? And then, of course, February 10th, we've got the defection of Vice Minister Dong Ji-wei, which, again, was, if you want to compare it, is our General Flynn, right? So then March 2021, Joey B and the boys were asked to give the CCP back their defector, and they had no idea that he'd already surrendered to Trump's boys in the DIA, right? Because we know that CIA, that reports to the president, the DIA reports to the combatant commanders. And the combatant commanders are going to be a part of this devolution plan to be basically the brick wall from the country burning to the ground. So interesting fact, Trump sent Rick Grenell, I know we kind of touched on this last time, sent Rick Grenell as his ambassador envoy to the Kosovo-Serbia border. So Kosovo being in Ukraine, right? And the Serbia border. Now, wait a minute. The former President Trump has an ambassador involved in foreign relations? So if you want to see some epic trolling, follow Rick Grenell. I tell you, that day was absolutely fantastic, watching him troll the lefties as he was down on the border and holding a press conference. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like some official business is being handled.
Yeah.
Right?
It wasn't sent by Joey B.
Right? So another important component besides the PADs, right, the Presidential Emergency Action Documents and the executive orders, are the NEFs, and that is a national essential function, right? So Rick Grenell is important in this, and it's just another piece of evidence pointing to devolution and its support of the NEFs, because Grenell, obviously went down to the border, and Trump made a statement about sending Rick Grenell as his envoy ambassador. So again, a NEF is a national essential function. Two that we're going to highlight as they are directly relating to Grenell's little trip is national essential function number 2, which providing leadership visible to the nation and the world and maintaining the trust and confidence of the American people. So Trump has definitely done that. He has been on the news and giving speeches and doing interviews more so than Biden. during Biden's supposed, his little reign of terror, as I like to call it. And then the second one that we're going to highlight is number 4, maintaining and fostering effective relations with foreign nations. Now, we've seen this. We've seen Trump get on the phone with other countries. And now Rick Grinnell is getting involved in this and, contacting other countries and making it visible to us as a nation that things are still being taken care of. Trump still has his finger on the pulse. He may not be visibly in the office of the president from what we see, but what we can see is the foundation that he has laid for us. And all of this is part of the foundation that he has put in place. And at this point, I'd like to also bring out, remember how many federal judges that Trump put into place during his time in office, right? These are, again, more strategic placements to ensure that the country doesn't burn down. So now I'd love to be able to personally take credit for gathering and putting the whole thing together, but as you know, I can't. Patel Patriot on Telegram has done an absolutely amazing job of putting this thing together and enabling the rest of us to understand in plain English what would look like a giant puzzle of legal documents that Trump and the Patriots put together to ensure that our nation doesn't burn to the ground. Yeah, we're experiencing some very uncomfortable times, but in history, we have to watch as the plan unfolds. I mean, we've been talking about the plan for quite some time. We just didn't know that the plan had a name, and that was devolution. So as it's forming in front of our eyes, we remember that freedom isn't free. Many brave soldiers like your dad put it all on the line to protect the country. So right now we're in the middle of the silent war, but it's a war nonetheless. And we know that we're in a war because Trump told us. Remember in the Oval Office, and he said this is the worst attack on American soil. And what did that tell us? That we're at war.
People don't understand, Carly. We are at war in every turn. Our children, our laws, the Constitution, all of it. And, until the people start saying no and take back our country, Trump's doing what he can behind the scenes, but he needs us. Let him take care of the big stuff. Let us take care of the, over here and hold the line. How many times has he told us to hold the line? And I keep saying, don't you think they would already came for our guns if the UN was really, they try to frighten us with all this stuff. They try to frighten us.
And I like to term it fear porn.
Yeah.
And you probably heard that before, fear porn. And the only thing that the deep state has at this point is words and innuendos.
Right.
And they are going to ramp it up to the nth degree. And we see that happening all over the place, not just in the States, but, in Canada and Australia and everywhere, because they want us to be in fear. And we're just not going to comply, period. So, we're in the middle of this war, but it is, it may be a silent war, but it's a war nonetheless. There is no timetable or end date that we can see. That doesn't mean that there isn't an end date. It's just we don't know what it is, right?
And we shouldn't. And we should know what it is because he always told us too, I'm never going to tell the enemy what I'm doing.
Yeah, I will never telegraph my moves, right?
And that, that's what we're going to do. So, we were at Grinnell. We talked about this. I think we should pull little segments of that each week. Or, if we're going to get down to the 13, did you want to carry on more? Because we have to do Nothing's Happening, and Will's coming up, and ASAM. Are you shitting me? We have things to do, but would you like to follow up with anything else on this?
Well, right now we're seeing in the news things that point, again, directly to the devolution and specifically to the executive orders. We're seeing the takedowns we're seeing the stepping down of the CEOs and of the political figures worldwide. Now, when you're seeing this on the news, I want people to reread the executive orders on crimes against humanity, human trafficking, and seizure of assets found found guilty of crimes against humanity, because these things are playing out in real time. And if anything, here's where I want to leave it for today. We are winning. It may not look like it on the surface, but if you're looking underneath at the progress that is happening in the courts with the vaccine mandates, with parents standing up, where the military, the military placements that we're seeing worldwide, this is not an administration that is in retreat. We are standing firm. We are holding the line. And the main reason why that was his message is because he was trying to mitigate a civil war. And that's where we're going to end it for today.
Carly, you are the best. Today, my ears are not that steamy, still a little fuzzy, but we love you because we need to hear this broken down. And the more you break it down and make us understand, the better it is. And we're going to see you a little later with Nothing's Happening in ASOM. Stay backstage. I'll see you in a minute, girl.
All right, hun.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Canadian Patriot Carly. She breaks down devolution, and she talks about so many other things when we are on my broadcast is news and reviews over on Telegram right after Jocelyn's show on Tuesday and after my show about 10 o'clock. So get over there because there's a lot happening that, people say, where do you get this information? Where do you get this information? Come over to my broadcast as news and reviews and you'll get the information. So right about now, I don't think you need any tinfoil hats tonight. No, I don't think so. But we're going to bring on Wow Will from Colorado to do his thing. And he always has some interesting topics for us. Let's roll it, Chris.
If I give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's this: never, ever give up. Always have the courage to be yourself. Most importantly, you have to do what you love. And all of the blessings that you've been given, what will you give back to this country and indeed to the world? What imprint will you leave in the sands of history? They know what is right, but they don't have the courage or the guts or the stamina to take it and to do it. It's called the road less traveled.
Good evening. Hey, Wow Will. I think you win background of the night since I need a new computer. I can't do it. You got the criminals behind you, but you have my favorite picture when I'm down. That's what I look. Hillary getting arrested. What do you got for us tonight, Wow Will?
Tonight, I'm going to take a look at, a lot of us have relatives that have served in the military. A lot of us realize that a lot of our dignitaries are passing away. So I'm going to look and explain to you some of the ways that the flag should be done. So when you look at it, you know if they're the good guys or if they're treasonous traitors.
Take it away, Will.
So like I was saying, a lot of our dignitaries, like the one behind me, will soon be crated away. And so you guys know what the flag stands for and how it should be done. The flag positioning on the casket, if it's closed, let me read what it says so I make sure it's said properly. The flag should be draped. We've all seen the drapage, so we know what that means. On the casket, so the Union, the blue field where the stars are, is at the head and over the left shoulder of the deceased. So when you look at your significant other, your military, or when you're looking at these dignitaries as they're taking them into the Capitol Rotunda, or they're got them on the back of a cart, watch where the stars are placed and watch the flags themselves. And for some people, they like to have an open casket or somewhat. The flag should be placed in 3 layers, 3. So the blue field will be the top fold next to the open portion of the casket of the deceased left. Now, Chris, can you pull up pick 1, please? This here, you will see, is the proper way that a dignitary's flag should look. See how pristine it is? And it is a rule, and it is in the handbook, that when a dignitary or a military person dies, their flag is to be pressed. The only wrinkles you should see is around the edges, and that's because of the pallbearers. And there should be a black strap that goes all the way around. This one happens to be JFK, and that is his family grieving. And you'll notice no wrinkles, no nothing, and the stars should be on his left side, and it should be at his head. Chris, could you do 1A? This is Ronald Reagan's casket in the rotunda. And the 2 people behind them soon will have, if not already, a casket done and 6 feet under. But look at the flag. Again, pristine. Look at where the stars are. Left shoulder over the head. Now, what do wrinkles on the flag mean? The ones on the edges are because of the pallbearers. Those have no meaning. If you happen to see a flag on a dignitary, I'll give you an example. Chris, could you do pick 2, please? Bingo, it means traitor. Look at George Herbert Walker's on the left with the dog. Look at that casket, and what is wrong with it? The flag looks like somebody used it as a hanky. That is not the proper way. That there, just like the word on top says, stands for traitor. Traitor. None of your military heroes, none of my military heroes in my family is going out that way. They are not traitors. They are American dignified war fighters and heroes. If you look on the right side, the upper right side, that is Mr. Senator No Name himself. What right there, the flag tells you he is a traitor. He is a liar. He is a cheat. He betrayed this country. And if you look on the bottom, that is the pristine one of our American heroes. That's right. I said American heroes. That is how you send them to see our Lord Jesus Christ. Right there. For saving this country and fighting for our country. Chris, could you show pick 3? Again, look at this and look at the flag. Now, leave out the edges, but you can see there's wrinkles on that. RBG, most people don't realize it, but she was a traitor. And that flag tells us she is a traitor. And she sat on the almighty bench and decided laws for us. Chris, could you show 3A? Remember this? Where's the flag? Look at that covering. It's wrinkled, and look at how they're walking. And that is a Secretary of State that everybody praised. No, he's a traitor.
I got to get in on this one. He is a traitor. I mean, anyone that's going to sing ABBA, is this Colin Powell's?
Yes, this is Colin Powell's.
And all of you guys, take a look to the section where Obama's supposed to be, and look at where his mask, look at where his mask ends. Come on. It's down to his shirt. It looks like it was CGI or painted in. I just had to get that in because some of these masks some of these things don't even look right to me.
I was going to say that they're probably hiding the mask lines.
You know, people think we're nuts. And I know someone said something about a rabbit hole here earlier. Got to go, but I'll be checking in more often when I came up from my rabbit holes. But, you know, sometimes you got to go. We're in foxholes. We're not in rabbit holes. We're in foxholes because we are putting these things together. I mean, where is the flag? Go ahead, Will.
Your guess is as good as mine, but that's wrinkled. That tells me right there, even a traitor gets sent out somehow.
Yep.
And it's a wooden box. So what are you doing? So when your hero and you, as a hero to your kids, don't have a wrinkled flag. And remember, the wrinkles on the flags, if I can leave you with one word, traitor. Go out a hero. Go out pristine. And go out with nice, smooth lines.
Even my father had the flag was perfect, you know? So thank you, Will. Some nice information. I didn't have to get out of my spaceship today for that.
No, that's an easy one. You can stay nice and comfy and warm.
You can. So about this time, I think Gina, I don't know if Gina's backstage. I think she might be. Let me see if she's still there, or did she take off too? Everybody went night-night. So I guess she was there, but she's not. So anyway, around this time, here's what we like to do. We like to leave you with happy ending. In the finale, we like to talk about nothing's happening. So we're going to bring on our Patriot panel, bring everybody back, and we're going to talk about nothing's happening. And we're also going to do our segment of ASEM. Patriot panel coming up. Well, hello.
Hello. Back again.
So who do we have in place? We got Rocky up there. Or do we have Johnny?
Well, we have both of us, kind of.
Okay. So we have myself, we have Carly, we got Will, and we got just Jocelyn in the house. You know, at this point is where I like to take a breath. I know we had a lot of just crazy things, and forgive us tonight because we're on different platforms. This is our first night, so you got to cut us a little slack tonight, will you please? Because it's been a wild night. But let's talk about, we got nothing's happening because people always say to us, well, nothing's happening. When's Trump going to do this? When's Trump going to do that? When are the people? When are you going to do something about it? He's doing what he's going to do on his end. When are we going to start digging in and giving information to the public? And when are you going to stop listening to mainstream media, the enemy of the people? When? Because you're not getting the information. All you're getting is the next variant. Oh, the sky's falling. The next variant. Oh, please. We've had enough. Nurses dancing in the hallways of the. Listen, nurses and doctors, Some of them are wonderful, some of them are not. Just like anything in life. There's good and bad in everything. But you got to stop listening. The media is mostly bad. So who wants to start off? I don't know where Jocelyn went. What happened? Strange things are happening tonight. People are popping in. I don't know if we're teleporting and going to aliens, or aliens are down taking people out, moving things around. I mean, what the frig is happening tonight? Jeez, I wanted to start off my nice December month with my holiday spirit and my Mary, and I don't know what's going on tonight, but it's very strange. Maybe she had an issue and has to come back, so we'll see. So who wants to? Let me start off. All right. So we all know, I'm going to say it again because a lot of people might not know, that Jack Dorsey is stepping down as CEO of Twitter, the company he co-founded in 2006, and he'll be replaced by CTO. I can't even say his name. That's not a good start. What is it? Parag? I don't even. Anyone? Carly?
Well, what, you want me to start?
Well, no, I was trying to pronounce Agarwal, his name, the new CTO of when Dorsey.
Oh, Lord, don't make me try and pronounce that. We'll just call him the new guy.
If we can't pronounce it, it's already not good. Let's just say that.
It's the new guy. That's it.
Yeah, the new guy in town. So Dorsey listed a variety of reasons while he was leaving. You know, he said his exit was effective immediately, but, you know, nothing's happening. Go ahead, Will.
How about the head of North Carolina Health Department stepping down? Don't you need a health department now? Nothing's happening.
Go, Rocky.
Go, Rocky. Anything?
I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden.
Okay.
I'm not used to being on here.
I know. Oh, is Johnny still there, or did he want to take a break? He said.
He's like half asleep.
Okay. All right.
I'm next then. Me.
Go ahead, me. Go ahead, Carly.
Forbes confesses that mRNA alters human DNA. Now, were we not talking about this? What? How many? What?
Months.
It's been, well, ever since I brought out the vaccine, and we were saying, hey, it alters your DNA. Oh, no, you're just conspiracy theorists. Now, Forbes magazine is admitting that the mRNA does alter the human DNA. Come on. But nothing's happening, guys.
Nothing's happening. Not only that, I just said they're gonna teleport me, so it's probably happening. Freaking gene therapy. They'll be like, buzz her up here. They're probably. I didn't even have someone said to me yesterday.
Hey, did you see the resurface? There was a news broadcast, and I don't know the date that it originally was done, but it was bringing up the HRC covered up the pedophile ring at the State Department while she was Secretary of State. But nothing's happening, guys. Don't worry. Move along.
Move right along. Moving right along. Let's see. Distractions everywhere. Pay attention to I call her insane because I can't. Jazane. I just call her insane. Now, Walmart of Bentonville executive Brett Biggs will step down as chief financial officer sometimes next year. So Big has been Walmart's executive vice president CFO since December 31st, 2015. Bye-bye. Go ahead.
How about Simone Sanders, Camel Toes chief spokesperson, is resigning at the end of the year? That's the third in 3 weeks. But nothing's happening. Maybe we won't hear nothing. We don't know anyway. But nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
All right. Well, I've got the U.S. House passes a bill to prevent the government shutting down, but not raising the debt ceiling and leaving the spending levels that were agreed to during the Trump era. Now, why are they still using Trump's policies and protocols? And another one that they're still using, Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. They just reenacted that. But hey, nothing's happening, guys.
CFO of Eli Lilly, okay, resigning. Now, isn't Eli Lilly a pharmaceutical company?
Yeah, and Eli Lilly, that's the one that Trump keeps referring to. And he was also back in the day, hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, and you know how I know Eli Lilly? Because back in the day, 1970, I would see Eli Lilly, so it went ding, 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 but nothing's happening.
No, nothing.
Nothing. ABC News says the fake White House telling federal agencies that they can hold off. They can hold off on firing federal workers for not complying with the poison dart until after the holidays. Now, isn't that nice? Do not comply. Do you think if Joey B was really in power, they could keep pushing it out? Didn't he, Carly, correct me if I'm wrong, would judge this mandate bull crap? I don't even know what I'm saying because I look at this and I'm like, we're going to pull it out after the holidays. Pull what? Pull it out of your ass? What are you pulling out?
No. It was the White House that says you can hold off till after the holidays.
Oh.
But it was the judge that said, no, I'm striking down the vaccine mandate because it's unenforceable and void. Same thing with the masks. And again, these are the judges that who put in place? Trump. See, again, he's always putting in those barriers so they can only go so far. Back to words and innuendos, that's all they got.
Unbelievable. You're right. All words. Let's bring Gina on too. Let's see if she can join us when nothing's happening.
And here is a dot connector. Ambassador Cindy McCain resigns from Arizona Human Trafficking Council. I guess she didn't want to take up her husband No Name and Jeff Flake's business in Arizona. But nothing's happening.
Who's breathing heavy? Please get a room. Go somewhere. What's going on? You know, the little things that get me crazy. Everything went backwards today. I'm still on it. You people know I have that. I get stuck on these things. They say it's a mental illness. I just say, no, it's a stiletto trait. So just be quiet about it. All right. Go ahead, Carly. You're up.
Well, we got the Chicago mayor revokes vax mandate on police. Curiouser. How come all these mandates are getting struck down?
Right. Pushed down.
But nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening. Nah. Whatever. We never really heard again from the airlines, right? Because they didn't want that in the... That was making mainstream media, that stuff. That's not even talked about anymore, is it?
Well, they are talking. Well, Biden's talking. Well, let's say Chucky, his press secretary, is talking about it.
Yeah.
Because we know that Biden, anytime he gets near a microphone, what happens? Today, he got distracted by an 11-year-old. And what happened? They had to shut his mic off again.
Well, they're finally doing it. It took them almost a year to do it, feeling kids up, get the jab, talking stupid, trying to kiss them, trying to sniff them. They're stupid. Sometimes.
How about them rubbing the hair on his legs? Remember that story?
Yeah, cockroaches and his hairs go up and down. Well, we're going to do a whole mashup with Rocky, please. We're going to do year in review of Joey B feeling people up, talking about his hairy legs, talking about you're not black enough. We got to get into falling up the stairs, you know, but that's a you shitting me moment. Let's finish up with nothing's happening. Yeah. So Chris Wallace all of a sudden has cancer. I mean.
Sure he does.
Yeah. 375 military aircrafts up today, but nothing's happening. Most of them here on the East Coast, because Gina and I, we hear them, we see them, they're flying like we have boots on the ground. We see it happening.
Oh, yeah. What about the large banks that are being fined for foreign exchange cartel movements with respect to trading markets? Now, the thing is, keep in mind, people, this stuff has already happened. It's just being brought out now. So it's in the forefront of your mind and you're going, oh, wait a minute. Now there are some repercussions of what these crooks have been doing to us for years and years. We've saw 2 major announcements today on fines on banking and financial institutions. Pay attention to those people, as well as the stepping down of the CEOs and political figures. And did anyone see today Austria's chancellor step down and stepping away from public life altogether? But nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
Absolutely. And DeFazio from the 4th District of Oregon is the 19th House Democrat to call it quits. But nothing's happening, boys and girls.
I got a couple more. Then I want to let Gina tell us about tonight. And does anyone know those 18 congressmen not running for re-election?
Not right off the top of my head.
But nothing's happening. 18 right there.
Yeah. But we were told to watch who was not going to be running again. And the CEOs and political figures that were stepping down, this all ties in, people. It's all connected.
Right.
And the Bar Association in India filed murder charges against Bill Gates, and they're asking for the death penalty. But nothing's happening. I can't.
And they were the first ones to bring charges on that WHO doctor. Remember?
Yep. Yes, they were.
You know, they bring this out now, which is good, but we all know over here that he might not even be around. And I just want to add this. You know, there's no proof that Trump was on Epstein Island. See, this is what they're going to do. They're going to throw his name in it because they got a picture here and there. Listen, I took pictures with a lot of evil people myself, you know. Doesn't mean that I hung with them. You know, a picture is a picture. They just try to throw him in. He's not even in the mix. And if he was, he wasn't the president then. So everybody hold on to your hats. We should be talking about the issue at hand here. The list, the flight log, the people involved, the poor children that were abused. And listen to, what's that woman, Carly? Not Marilyn.
Nancy Drew.
And Nancy Drew, but Madison.
Madison Marquette.
Marquette.
She's a survivor of human trafficking. And she was also the one to finger Biden as one of her assailants.
Yep, she was. So before we do ASOM and leave everybody happy and go into their weekend, what are you shitting me? Huh. Gina got a plenty of are you shitting me. Gina, briefly, tonight, Gina was at a meeting with our friend Diana Ploss, who's running for governor here in Massachusetts. And they did some damage tonight. So Gina, briefly tell us what happened. And it was about the Human Rights Commission, correct?
Yeah, they were having their monthly meeting. So Diana met me there, and there was another man from Revere that came to support us as well, Michael. And so when Diana got up to the podium to talk, after they talked all their business, she had everybody say the Pledge of Allegiance. And so Michael and I stood up, and then two of the commission members stood up halfway through it, while the tension in the air was very thick. All I know is I was going to get up and speak after Diana, and the meeting was suspended. They admitted that it's run by the UN, and we were like saying, I was holding up signs, abolish the Human Rights Commission and respect all human rights. And Diana said, we don't need human rights commissions. We don't answer to the United Nations. We answer to the United States Constitution. And one of the doctors on the panel there that works at the high school, he said, it's a good document, but we have to be all inclusive. And then, and basically, she said, this is communism and you all should be tried for treason. And you two that are from two different countries should be deported you should be deported from this country, and they should revoke your citizenship. Oh yeah, it was.
She's right.
They called the police, but I said, "Hi, Officer Callahan." He said, "Hi, Gina. How are you? Good, thanks. How you doing? See you later. Goodbye." And that was it. She filmed it all. I have it. If you want to see it, it was. I didn't get to speak. I wanted to ask them when I complained about this Human Rights Commission. They called my friend a white supremacist. I was offered a mediation, but I was offered a private mediation, but I want a public mediation with the mayor. But they shut it off because they don't want to hear this.
They listen.
do not want to hear the truth.
Gina, if they shut the meeting, you know what that's all about. But we're gonna do ASOM. But great job tonight. Wish I could have.
Thank you for letting me get that out, because I don't want special treatment. I want equal treatment.
There you go. You want to stay for some ASIM? I'm sure you got a few beauties. Just hang on. We're gonna go make a rounds. Stick with us. So here we go. So I could just picture it if I was there.
Beautiful.
I'm telling you, it must have been. And it's on. We have some footage of it, so we'll be putting it on our pages, and we'll be putting it out so you guys can watch it. There's a few people I saw on here saying hi to Gina, so we can't see a lot of people because we're on different platforms tonight because we're so mad at Facebook. We're done. Who said that? So much is happening. I don't understand how people could be so lethargic because they took the poison dart. Absolutely. They've been lethargic before from the medicine the kooky doctors gave them. Right. And then now they're on a jab, a duba. So now they're robots. I might as well just go pick up a remote and walk by them. Hey, excuse me, do you have the V? Yeah. Oh, let me see if I can have some fun with you. I'll just put some batteries in a remote and I'm going to try it. You never know.
Turn the off button.
Don't carry a magnet. Don't carry a magnet. You might be getting attracted to somebody you don't want to.
Oh, then I got to sing. I'm stuck on you. So that would be bad.
Well, they really do have magnetic personalities, though.
I know.
So, Charlie Faker said President Trump's coronavirus plan to suspend immigration, it doesn't make any sense, he said, that friggin' rhino. But he said Biden's air travel restrictions are the right move. Are you shitting me? What's wrong with you? Go ahead, Will.
Are we still on Nothing's Happening, or did we?
We're on Are You Shitting Me? We're moving it on.
Chris, where can you get an interview and get the fart? And it's not a machine. It's one of our traders. Chris, can you play clip 6?
The evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Are you shitting me?
Literally.
I can smell it in Kentucky.
There you go, Johnny. Wait, I forgot we had some ASIM clip. Let's get to Carly. She's going to have one.
So Austria, now just keep in mind that their chancellor just stepped down. But now Austria comes out, they want to throw out the Nuremberg Code. Are you shitting me? They don't have the right to do that. Someone give them a memo.
Oh, someone give them something. Johnny, Gaskin, you got something?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Elizabeth Warren and her white privilege and just wanting to be a regular one like everybody else, just one of us. Can you roll clip 7, Chris?
Clip 7.
A beer. During a live chat from her kitchen in Cambridge on New Year's Eve, Senator Elizabeth Warren drinks beer from a bottle, compliments her husband, And I'm crazy about that. and chats with people making comments online. It's good to see you, Darth. I'm glad you're here. Warren is already known nationwide as a former Harvard law professor, the first head of the Consumer Protection Bureau, and a frequent critic and target of President Trump.
They call her Pocahontas.
This
Meanwhile, Sambo's in the back.
Yeah. Remember that?
Give me some watermelon, Elizabeth. Kid. This woman is so full of shit.
It is not the same without seeing Gaskin, but I can look at Rocky's beautiful face. That's all right. She is so full of shit. Now, I got a beauty for you. Jeannie, do you have one? Are you shitting me?
I can't. I have so much in my head right now. I'm just enjoying the show.
All right. Hang with us. So I have one. Mine must be sick. The show's all jumbled up. Listen, who gives a shit? But, we're not Fox News. We're like Stiletto Street Talk. That's why it's Street Talk. We're talking about it. So, Chris, I think mine's 6 now. You got a picture this. I have to set it up before, like, Will. So you're supposed to have a VP, a vice president, right? So vice president usually talk, they talk pretty normal. Look at Joey B. Okay, he's out of the realm of reality. We don't know which one we're seeing. He's got 3 body doubles, but this one right here, when you look at her, when you watch this footage, watch her not as being a fucking kook. Watch her as like she's an actress. This is an act. This cannot. Even if a vice president sat and said, I was on a show and said, "Oh, this is how I make my turkey," she would be a little more debonair, right? Word of the night, or she would be a little more easy. Watch Camel Toe this friggin' nut job. Tell me this is not a movie. Are you shitting me?
It's getting a fresh turkey?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's being delivered
And so
tomorrow.
just little, 1 minute out. I have one
Okay,
minute.
yeah.
Kosher salt, fresh ground pepper. Maybe chop up a little thyme. And then you can mix it even with, okay, so do the salt and pepper all over it, just lather that baby up, right? With on the outside in the cavity. You could also chop up, but not with the thyme, just the salt and pepper. Mix that up also with some thyme. You could even do a little rosemary if you want. Under the skin with some butter before you're gonna cook it. So that butter will just melt in there. And then get a nice big bottle of cheap white wine to baste with butter. Yes, hi.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, the vice president, she's sitting with her legs open. First of all, I'm going to go blind. It's going to be my new thing. I'm blind. Shut your legs. And then she's talking about a turkey. I don't know what she's doing to the turkey. Sounds like
she's massaging it.
Like Biden. I mean, come on. Are you shitting me here? I'm Italian and I don't even talk about a turkey like that. Stuff the friggin' thing. Feed me. That's all I got to know. I had to
pepper on it. You gotta put it on. What did she think she was? She knows like that action because she didn't get where she is for nothing.
Exactly.
Did she have the turkey between her legs?
We would have to ask Willie Brown.
Go back and look at that clip. Did she have dirty knees?
She just took her knee pads off.
Oh God, that was I saw that and I said, this movie gets. Now they're putting comedy in the movie. I mean, it started with comedy with Joey B falling up the stairs. My butt's been white, and then fake planes, and he's fighting or he's taking a shit with his Depends with the Pope. I mean, you shitting me with this stuff? It gets worse.
Mike off yesterday. Cancel his tour.
What happened?
They shut Joey's mic off at one of his speaking engagements, and then they canceled his appointment yesterday.
Yeah, because he got distracted by the 11-year-old.
Yeah.
No shit. That's
you shitting me?
That is fact.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but it's true. And then the last one that I have is the New York Post. The Marxists had Thomas Jefferson's statue removed from New York City Hall. 187 years. The woke City Hall banned all statues of his likeness with Democratic co-chairs saying he wanted the statue gone because it doesn't represent contemporary values. Contemporary values, what? Burning buildings down? Teaching kids how to change their fucking gender? What values? You have no values. You nuts. The statue will be positioned at the New York Historical Society. Are you shitting me?
Oh, I got like 3 left.
Go ahead, Carly.
Okay, so Justin Trudeau up here in Canada, as we call him Justin Castro, he wants to reduce the voting age to 16 years of age. Now, keep in mind, this is the generation that is eating Tide Pods, doesn't know what their gender is, doesn't know which bathroom to use, needs safe spaces and coloring books, but we're going to give them a voting? Come on. So then it gets better. So then Global News comes out and they say Canadians now saying they want to dump the Queen. Well, pardon me, sweetheart. We didn't want her for the last 2 decades. And furthermore, I mean, look at Barbados. Barbados becomes a republic, removes the Queen, and now all of a sudden Canada's going to catch on? No, we haven't wanted the Queen around here for quite some time. Thank you very much. When Lady Diana came to town, you bet everyone showed up in mass. The Queen? Nah, not so much.
And I got one to help you all understand the news. You know the news is crap. Get away from mainstream media. because global news mogul Rupert Murdoch is confirmed as a present in Epstein's Black Book. Pooh!
He was also at Epstein Island.
Yep.
And he's the owner of Fox as well. So, interesting little tidbit. Now, January 6th Commission just came out, and they're trying to imply that using your Fifth Amendment denotes guilt. No, it doesn't. It's literally your right to stay silent. Now, who else used this? The prosecution at Rittenhouse, remember? Well, why did you stay silent? Now you're going to talk about this? What did the judge do? He smacked him down.
Yep.
It's constitutional. It's a constitutional right to stay silent. You have that right. Use it.
So I just want to say this before we close out. LeBron is out indefinitely, right? You see him? Crybaby, who gets people thrown out of the game because he can't take it. Since when you work off your feelings when you get millions of dollars? Now, here's what I want to know. He's indefinitely. Chris Cuomo, whatever his name is, gets out indefinitely. Come on, you're shitting me. He got the jab, and then he gets COVID, and we know what that means. He's probably made a deal, okay, with his doing his signs and all this, and while the national anthem's playing, getting on his knee, begging to China, wearing his Nikes. LeBron, stop crying. Who knows where LeBron's going, right?
I do.
I do.
Where are they going?
Tell me.
Gitmo.
Guantanamo Bay. Hey.
I got 2 left.
All right.
So, some good news. Pentagon pedophile task force has been confirmed. Now, as conspiracy theorists has been talking about this for 4 years, it's actually true. And it has been confirmed. So, a little bit vindication. And Germany just imposes nationwide lockdown on the unvaxxed. Okay, now what did we say? All that the deep state has left is words and innuendos. You can only be locked down if you comply.
Right.
And an acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. Don't comply.
Do not comply. And it's getting worse and worse, but Christmas season, I don't want to see your face muzzled up. I don't want to see it anymore. And if you let your children go in with a mask, I really have no respect for you. Sorry. People make decisions for themselves and they talk about wear a mask. It's respect. It has nothing to do with respect. Don't ever use that word respect with the word mask in front of me. Ever. You want to wear it? You wear it. You want your kid to wear it? Let your kid wear it. But don't force everybody. Sick of this bullshit that they're giving us. And the ones that are the criers, listen, there's talkers, and then there's walkers. The ones that keep complaining, I'm done with you. I'm done. You want to complain and whine and moan and type, or come out and get out and be heard. And just by taking it off is doing something. A little thing like taking it off. A little thing like going in a store, talking to someone, make them understand. They're little things that make things happen. Don't make people be afraid. Like, I just couldn't believe, Gina, I just can't not believe the people that are still wearing it in stores.
They asked us to put it on at the City Hall chambers tonight. We said no.
It's your right. It's your constitutional right to say no.
Absolute damn right is. I'm not wearing one.
So we're going to wrap this one up, everybody.
Hey, there was a question. Is it true Rumble is going public, or is it just a rumor? No, it's not a rumor. It is true. Rumble is going public.
Yes, it is. So once we work out the bugs, things will get better. Again, every time we start ramping up, something happens. But you know what, Rocky, we want to all say doing a great job. She's helping us with links and getting us on social media. There's also YouTube channels where you can find us. You can also find us on My Broadcasters News and Reviews on Telegram right after this to have another talk. And again, Tuesdays with Just Jocelyn, and Thursdays with Street Talk. So be there. I'll see you guys over at My Broadcasters.
Catch you later. Good night, all.
Later.
Good night,
Thanks.
all.
Night all.
Yeah.